This lesson is about Song of the Wind in Book One, and there are two big issues that I want you to understand, and three things to keep in mind total as you perform the piece. There are two new techniques that we learn in Song of the Wind for the first time, and the first one is called a retake, and that's a bow issue. And simply put, we just play a down bow, and when we get to the tip, we just keep going and make a big circle, going all the way back to the frog and putting that bow down silently on the string. If we don't put it down silently, that's called a crash landing. And that can happen by putting the bow down too high, so it's in the middle and the bow bounces, or putting it down too quickly at the frog and we get a little bit of a crunch sound. So the idea is to play a long down bow and slowly and carefully reset it. That whole technique is called a retake, or sometimes you might hear it called at school like a circle bow. So here we go. Okay, now I can do that on any string. It's the same process every single time, but it's important to remember a retake always happens after a down bow, at least for a long time. Alright, so that's the first element. The next thing that you're going to learn for the first time in Song of the Wind is what's called a bar. And that's simply when you take one finger, let's say in this case it's going to be a third finger. You put your third finger down on one string, and then you're going to need it again immediately on a neighboring string. So if I were on the A string, I would need it immediately on the E string. Well, instead of lifting it off and bouncing my finger from one string to the next, I'm just going to keep it down. I will not lift it. I'm just going to kind of rotate a little bit if I need to. I can use my elbow to swing under, but no matter what, I'm not going to lift that third finger off. And in Song of the Wind, it's used in this measure. And then there's an echo. It uses the same concept. So what's happening is that in this piece, I will play my third finger here on the A string, and then immediately I need it on the E string, but I'm not going to lift my finger off. And then I can continue. Bar here, and then I have a retake. So that barring action can be done with any finger. It can be the first, second, third, or fourth finger, and it can be done between any pair of neighboring strings. And it comes up a lot. It's a very, very important skill to get used to, and it'll happen a lot at the end of the book in those minuets, so learn it now so that you'll be really good later when it comes to the end of the book. So that's the retake and the bar. Those are the two new techniques to keep in mind. Now, I told you at the beginning there was one other idea, a third thing that I want you to think about while you're playing, and that's simply to make the echo. It's hard because the echo happens right after a retake. It has a bar, and then you have to do another retake. So it's squeezed in the middle of a lot of things that you want to think about. But if you get used to it from the beginning, it won't be so hard. So listen for when I get quiet. Listen for the echo. I'm going to perform Song of the Wind for you all the way through with repeats. Watch for the retake, be aware of the bar, and listen for the echo.